of International Women's Day, I think that makes it International Ladies' Night. But we are here to celebrate 9 absolutely amazing women in science through the Suffrage Science Awards. They have all been nominated to receive one of this year's Life Sciences Awards. But before we meet them and hear why they've been nominated, I wanted to explain a little bit about the Suffrage Science scheme and why these awards are so special. This is now the 13th anniversary of suffrage science. It was first cooked up in 2011 by 2 incredible inspirational women, Professor Dame Amanda Fisher and science author and broadcaster Vivienne Parry, OBE. Now, initially focusing on the life sciences, there was a group of 11 women, and they were recognised for their work and their leadership by being given some beautiful heirloom jewellery. And you'll see the colours of the ribbons are the traditional suffragette colours. So we've got green for hope, we've got white for purity, and violet for dignity. And if you know your suffragette history, you'll know that those spell out GWV, give women votes. But yeah, do take a look at the jewellery. It is absolutely beautiful. But the catch is, of course, if you receive one of these pieces of jewellery, they are not for keeps. Every 2 years, we ask the awardees, the recipients, to choose another woman to hand their piece of jewellery onto, someone they admire and respect.
In the face of almost insurmountable obstacles that would have defeated almost everyone else, Areej has shown amazing determination, persistence, pioneering spirit in establishing the first ever protein crystallography lab in Jordan. And she's the embodiment of an ideal suffrage science awardee, in my view.
How do you feel about this?
Actually, I'm speechless. And it's really nice to see such efforts, such initiatives to encourage women to get in science and to stay in science, which is, in my opinion, is more important.
For me, this was like the most obvious choice that I could make. It's like I even tried to think if I could think of someone else. There was no way.
Slightly embarrassed, actually. I'm not normally standing in this position, but I'm utterly thrilled to receive this award. I'm absolutely delighted to receive it from Professor Matza, who I've known for a number of years and collaborated with. I think I'm receiving it on behalf of all women in science, really.
It is with the greatest of pleasure that I choose Professor Frederique Varga-Kadem as my successor for the Suffrage Science Award in Life Sciences. Frederique is an inspiring woman whose research has made unrivaled contributions to our understanding and knowledge of the development of brain and cognition.
When I moved to the UK from Montreal, Canada, back in 1983, Caroline was one of the first people who really welcomed me here and made me feel part of the scientific community, which was not easy to break into in those days, particularly for women. Obviously, it's a humbling experience, and it reminds me of this statement that really the earth is but one country and mankind its citizens, but in relation to this gathering, I should say, womankind is its citizens.
Marta has made important contributions in the field of mammalian embryogenesis. Her groundbreaking work on using stem cells to reconstruct mammalian embryos opened up many possibilities for understanding the early stages of embryo development. On top of being a great scientist, Marta is an advocate for women in science and also a very supportive colleague who's always willing to share her scientific and personal experience with others.
I've always had females as mentors, both my PhD mentor and my postdoc mentor. They encouraged me and gave me an example. And I think maybe it's time for me to now be the one that is inspiring women to continue and pursue a career in science. And I want to take this award as an opportunity to really show the world that women, we can be successful scientists, and in many cases also successful mothers.
Monica, you are an incredible scientist, but more than being this exceptional scientist, you're an exceptional human being, and I'm so proud to be your friend.
I met Naomi at Women in Molecular Imaging Network a few years ago, and we have stayed together, and we have made it a joint mission to uplift everyone around us.
I have nominated Professor Selena Ray as she is the ideal candidate for this award. Not only is she an outstanding scientist, having made really important discoveries in our understanding of the pathology of neurodegenerative disease, but she's also really outspoken on important issues that are faced by women and underprivileged researchers in STEM.
As Veronica said, I really try and use my position to speak out on things that matter to me. And one of the things that really interests me is the intersection between being a woman in science and also class. I, grew up in a very working class family. I grew up on benefits. I'm a first generation PhD. And I'm really interested in how I can use that position to open the doors and create access to opportunity for people from similar backgrounds.
I'm delighted to present this award to Frederique Magdinier, a true pioneer in our scientific field of rare genetic disease. A tireless effort, passion, and an unwavering commitment to deciphering the complexities of this genetic disorder.
We've been talking a lot these last months about the challenge of being a lab director and being also a scientist and also a woman in this field. And we exactly had the same impression that it's not easy all the way.
She's been nominated by Professor Gisou van de Goot and says that she's very happy to pass this award on to Prisca. She combines the qualities of a great scientist, creative, rigorous, bold, broad, with the big picture in mind, yet attentive to detail, ethical, with being dynamic, kind, enthusiastic and curious.
One of the reasons I think I've been awarded the prize is my continuous dedication to make academia a more inclusive environment for young women, to make it a place where everybody feels safe to be their best self, to take risk in expanding their comfort zone, and to be fearless in growing into innovative science.
And finally, we have Dr. Azahara Oliva, who is nominated by Professor Laura Colgin, who again can't be here. And she says Azahara is one of the most outstanding young researchers working in the fields of social cognition and memory, originally trained as a physicist. So cheers to the physicists. Traditionally, women have been underrepresented in computational areas of science. So she's a great role model for other young women.
I will say that since I became a mentor, this has been the absolute center of my time. To be an active listener, to be always available for anyone that needs my support and can benefit from it, until the next generation of female in science are ready to take over and move the society into a more equitable place.
We have to learn to be resilient. But what I would say is when you are setting up your own lab, there are some things I would recommend thinking about. And the first one is you really want to establish your own line of research, not just be a clone of your postdoc supervisors and PhD supervisors. So if you can, think about how you might do something which is slightly different. That's what I did when I came to Oxford. I just decided to work on something different, mainly because nobody was very interested in what stick insects' muscles were doing. And I couldn't persuade either the taxi driver or my mother that this was of, incredible importance. So I switched to diabetes.
In my opinion, the most important thing is having a role model, to be honest. I can see this from my own experience with the amazing women who've been my mentors and my supervisors in my years, and also in my students.
Just be lucky. Try and be at the right place at the right time. And when you do get lucky, be really opportunistic and, jump on your luck and exploit it for as much as you can.
I thought this evening was a wonderful celebration of women from across the globe. I was so happy to see how international this award has become.